This Sirach chapter 11 verse 5. Many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of have worn the crown. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continually teach us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's laboring in his word in truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this could be an edifying video. And inspiration comes from the video Elder Kazak did. I believe it was yesterday. And it was titled, When People Find Out Who You Are. Something along those lines. All right? Because these people of the world, they don't even realize the prophets of the Lord is here before them. Okay? The prophets of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai are here among them, man. Okay? Speaking this message. See, people don't realize truly what's going on. You know, that's a sign that we're in the end of an age, of a kingdom. All right? The Lord, he always sends his prophets before he does, a major judgment. He always gets the word out of what's getting ready to happen before he does it via his prophets. Okay? So people, don't realize that the men they see on the highways and hedges, even people in your everyday life, all right, whether it's your woman, a family member, a neighbor, whatever, they don't even realize, like, it's a man of the Lord here, because we're the least expected. That's why I started with this scripture. It says, one that was never thought of have worn the crown. See, when Samuel was sent to anoint King David, okay, he didn't, King David wasn't even considered. His father was, showing, his older brothers. And when Samuel would see, like, one of his older brothers, he was like, surely this is the man, and the Most High was like, matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. Man, see if something like that. Yep. This is 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse start at verse 3. And call Jesse, which is the father of King David, to the sacrifice, and I will shew thee what thou shalt do, and thou shalt anoint unto me him whom I name unto thee. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, comest thou peaceably? Right, because that backs up what I was saying. See, in the ancient world, when it was known that there's a prophet of the Lord, people knew that man had a message when he came around. So when Samuel came, they were afraid. They was like, oh man, you come peaceably, because they knew he was there to do the will of the Lord. It says, and he said, peaceably I am come. And he said peaceably. So, they had a sigh of relief. I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Sanctify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass when they were come that he looked on Eliab and said, surely the Lord's anointed is before him. So he thought that, this is one of King David's brothers, his older brothers. He thought, man, surely this is the guy. He most likely was, he had a warrior countenance. He must have been of a mighty stature. So he was like, yeah, this the guy right here. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. So, and that's the problem with this world. See, people equate riches to wisdom. Like the scriptures say, if the rich man speak, people will extol his words and hear what he got to say. But when the poor man speak, people don't want to listen. And that's a stumbling block, because the Lord have chosen the poor of this world rich in faith. So that's one of the reasons why people don't expect us to be the prophets of the Lord, because we ain't, riding in a Maybach. All right. We ain't got the smooth appearance, the crisp lineup, the Brooks Brothers suit. We appear as regular men. All right. We didn't come down with a halo on our head. We're regular men. And, Yahweh Shai, he had a biological mother and a biological father, and that was a stumbling block. That's why in John, I believe it's the 6th chapter, they was like, is this the same Yahweh Shai we know, who father and mother we know? So they were like, man, we know where he come from. He ain't, why he talking about he the son of the Most High? We know his parents. And applying it to today, your mom could be like, you came out of me, boy. Your cousins, I remember, when this and that happened in school, and, I watched you, we went to school together. So people are not expecting, the men of the Lord to be who they are. And it's going to throw everybody off, when it's revealed, because the Lord is going to reveal who his chosen are. Let me grab that real quick. But like I said, one who have not been thought of have worn the crown. Hey, brothers not only are prophets, but will be the leaders of our nation underneath Yahweh Shai and King David in the proper order. Okay? The 144,000 represents the government of Yahweh Shai's kingdom, the top elite government of his kingdom. Okay? The highest ranking position an Israelite man can have, man. So, and that's the true rags to riches, man. But the Lord is going to make it known who he's dealing with. Damn it, what the hell? And that's one way he's going to exalt his name. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So we're going through that fire, man, the fire of adversity, to make us stronger, to purify us. The Lord has been preparing each brother for the times ahead, for whatever trial they got to go through. Because we all got our different walk, different things we got to go through. Some brothers go through similar things. But, the Lord is personally grooming his men for that position. All right? And for Jacob's trouble, because this is going to be a time the world has never seen. The scriptures say that it's going to be the worst famine in history, the worst time in history. Okay? But the Lord is going to prevail. He's going to have his men prevail, man. Because he's going to reveal himself greatly through the men of the Lord. And that's one way he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold, by brothers doing miracles. Brothers exalting Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, healing. Okay? Because thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. When the Lord fully show who he's with, we'll have a heavy responsibility. When the Lord give us that power, man, all right, it's going to be a lot of believers, and, we're going to have to guide them to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? And I perceive protect them, because Esau going to be swinging that sword. Okay? So the Lord is going to make it known who his chosen are. And when people see, they're going to be like, oh, man, I would have never known. I went to school with him. Or, if your ex-women that scoffed at your belief, that put hell on you, she going to be ashamed, man. All right? I'm going to grab that. And that's another inspiration for this video. when the brother Yerumla brought this out at camp yesterday, it further inspired me to do this video as well. Okay, this is Micah chapter 7, verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Which I believe it's in 2 Peter. It also mentions how, where is the promise of his coming? For everything is continuing how it's always been, pretty much. Let me back up. Hold on. Pretty much that's the sentiment of oh my gosh, she's coming over here. Hold on one second. I may have to do a part 2. All right, I'm back. Man, I hate these fucking devils, man. They always want to fucking come talking shit. But yeah, so back in Micah chapter 7, verse 10, then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Because brothers been with women, and these women knew what you were a part of. And they never believed that you were a man of the Lord. All right? I ain't going to speak for every brother, because I know the scripture speaks about the elect lady. And, some of you brothers, your woman will make it through you. So some brothers do got women that may believe. But then if she don't, she gonna believe in that day. She gonna see and believe. Okay? But, the women that was putting hell on brothers, that was, the brother going to camp and she making all kind of slick, wicked remarks. Oh, you about to go hang with your boyfriends? Just on some wicked ass shit, man. Because you got women that be doing that, man. Got Satan on them. All right? Them women, they gonna be ashamed, man, when they see that the Lord is truly with you. All right? It says, mine eyes shall behold her, now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Because, the Lord may very well have, us brothers come across women that did us wrong. And, we gonna see them in a low state, man. They gonna be ashamed. Is that really you? Because when the Lord show who he's dealing with, man, the Lord is, the Most High, he likes to flex. Okay, the way the Most High does things, he doesn't do things without flavor, man. So best believe when he fully manifests who he's dealing with, and spiritual power, comes upon the prophets, man, best believe the Lord is going to show out through his men. You're going to know that the Lord is with these men, but you still going to have those that they're going to see and not believe. It happened when Yahweh Shai was here. People saw the power he did, but they was, oh no, he's doing it in the name of Beelzebub. This guy, man, he pretty much calling him a Satanist. He's doing this in the name of demons. He doesn't have the Most High is not dealing with him. Even after seeing the power. He raised Lazarus from the dead. You had wicked niggas, they wanted to put Lazarus back to death. So, you're going to have that, but for the most part, man, because thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. But it's going to be fully manifest who the Lord is dealing with. Okay, in these days ahead. The Lord is going to make it known who his chosen are. And that's why it says in Amos, the 8th chapter, they shall run to and fro to hear the words of the Lord and shall not find it. They're going to know who was saying everything that's going to be going on. They're going to be looking for those men. Man, those men, they were saying famine and all these things would come. They were saying war would, because even though people scoff, they hear what we say. But they're like, nah, man, that ain't going to happen. That ain't. But now a lot of scoffers is starting to consider like, man, were they right? At things that's going on. And that's only going to intensify. All right. So, hey, man, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Lord willing, this was an edifying video. With that, I'm going to say shalom.